All right, we finally have them. This is a pair of New Balance sneakers that I am so excited that I finally have in hand and on feet. This is a Fresh Foam X 1080 V13. As you can see right here, pretty awesome pair of sneakers. Here we have it though, the revamped, completely redone pair of flagship running sneakers. This is like one of the beast pair of sneakers that I absolutely love. The 1080 line in general is the one that got me started with the New Balance sneakers in general. From the like casual perspective of just taking a runner and wearing them casually and seeing how they do. And that's when I was like really blown away from what New Balance was creating with Fresh Foam X first of all, and then I ended up diving deeper into the Fuel Cell line, and now I've tried probably like, I don't know, 20 or 30 pairs through the last handful, 4 years or so of New Balance sneakers. So it's exciting that I'm able to bring you guys a review, the fourth version of the one that I tried. The original one was the 10s. I have the 11s, 12s, and then now we have the 13s. But I'll tell you guys right off the rip, like this is an incredible pair of sneakers. This is so different and soft and squishy and like new. It's revamped. It's lighter. It's softer on feet than the predecessors. It's crazy they were able to reimagine and remake something that was already really good and then just make it that much better. And now I just did a video on top 10 sneakers for Disneyland, and this is definitely one of the ones where you could take these and just be super stoked the entire time. They're so crazy soft in hand, and something that is like a pro and a con is like, yes, it's Fresh Foam X, but it's a softer foam compound than any of the other Fresh Foam X compounds that I've tried. The crazy thing is if you look at the Vongos and you look at these, they look very, very identical. Like almost the exact same build out with the eyelets, the tongue build, just the side panels as well. There's a little bit more reinforcement on the heel on this one. The overall shape and sculpting of the midsole looks pretty much exactly the same. And also the traction on the outsole looks very, very similar on the Vongos and the 1080. So if you guys want a deep dive of like which one you should buy, like honestly, it just depends on your feet. I could do that video, but to be 100% honest, this one is lighter in hand than this one. The Vongo is going to be the one if you overpronate and stuff. So like kind of roll inwards a little bit like this, then the Vongo adds a little bit extra stability. So for those people that need that stability, then this one is like the stability version of this shoe. That's what people over at New Balance told me in the past. Like the Vongo is the stability version of the shoe. And truly, that's really what they did. They made it look very, very similar to this one. Now, if you want something a little bit lighter and pretty much the same price point as the Vongos, and softer on feet, in my opinion, softer on feet, these ones are unbelievable. But I wanted to give you some words from what New Balance says about its product first, then I'll get into more of the details. If we only made one running shoe, the shoe would be the 1080. What makes the 1080 unique isn't just that it's the best running shoe that we make, it's also the most versatile. The 1080 delivers top-of-the-line performance to every kind of runner, whether you're training for world-class competition or catching a rush hour train. The Fresh Foam X 1080 V13 represents a consistent progression of the model's signature qualities. The smooth transitions of the pinnacle underfoot cushioning experience are fine-tuned with updated midsole mapping, which applies more foam to wider areas of the midsole and increases flexibility at the narrower points. The ultra-modern outlook is also reflected in the 1080's upper construction. The V13 offers a breathable yet supportive fit with an engineered mesh upper for more streamlined overall design. Soft Fresh Foam X midsole provides more cushioning without increased overall weight. Solid rubber outsole provides additional forefoot stiffness at toe off. Rocker profile for smoother, natural feeling transitioning from heel to toe. And it does have a 6 mm drop for those people wondering. It says it's about 9.2 ounces. So mine says 9.3 ounces. I have a 9.5, and the Vongo, for reference, is 11.1 ounces. So Vongo much heavier than the 9.2 ounces of this. Pulling out my old 1080 V10, this was 9.9 ounces. The 1080 V11 was 9.8, and the 1080 V12 was 10.8. So for the V12, I did get the wide version, and honestly, I should have got the standard version. I do have a little bit of a wider foot, but not super huge. If you do have a wide foot, then they do offer wide foot versions from Fresh Foam. However, I find that in the Fresh Foam models, I need the true to size, the regular versions, but in the Fuel Cell lines like the Rebels and the Super Comp trainers, I need the wide versions of Fuel Cell. Personally, that's just what I prefer because it gives me a little bit more of a stable feel. If you guys do want to buy a pair of these, link in the description, it'll take you right to New Balance's page. If you guys use my links, it actually does give me a little bit of a kickback, and it lets New Balance know that you guys saw the video, rock with my channel, and support my channel. It definitely supports me directly when you guys do that. So thank you for anybody that uses my links to purchase any of the New Balance products on my page. And if you're looking for a lighter, a little bit more breathable fuel cell option, I would say the Rebel V3 is definitely top notch. I believe it's like under $110 right now, which is pretty crazy considering these are about $165. The Fuel Cell Rebel V4s though should be coming out eventually this year, so I expect those to come out soon, and as soon as I get them, I'll definitely compare them because I feel like those ones are going to be pretty incredible as well. Anyways, it's fun to have these side by side and look and just kind of see the different changes that they've made year over year, vastly improving the product from the first one that I tried, which was again the one that changed the game for me and really put me on to New Balance. And then 4 evolutions later, we have the latest and greatest V13. I'll tell you guys, from the midsole squish, it's definitely a lot softer in the V13s than any of the other 3. Also, something that they changed up a little bit is the heel shape design. Now, some people didn't like the heel cup on the V10s and the 11s. They said that there was some heel slippage and stuff because of the way that it's shaped, and just the containment issues back here were problematic for people that were running in the shoes. I actually really liked this personally from like a casual perspective. I thought it was excellent, really easy to get on your foot because of that little scoop on the back. They kind of corrected that with the V12s. As you can see, it's more of like an upper horn that kind of sticks out back here. Also a little bit thicker padding in the heel on the 12s. Then you get to the 13s and they widened it out quite a bit. Very interesting move because they made it really plush, like a little plushy pillow button on the back here, where it's a little bit flimsy, but it's definitely wider and not as pointy on the V13. And even though the plushness does stick out a little bit, I actually prefer the 13s over the 12s. Personally, just the way it feels on my feet, I actually like that. Also, the overall tongue shape, I'd say they kind of went back to the 10 and 11 feel, where it's just kind of like a little bit of a puffy mesh here, versus the 12s. It was a little bit thinner and had kind of more of a fork at the top. I like that they ended up adding a little bit more cushioning here, and then also leveling it out so it's not so forky like. Something consistent through all of the models that we've seen, but they've also streamlined it a little bit more, is the lace holes. You can see there's fused material on every single lace hole. They don't merge them together though like they did on the previous models for reinforcement. They're all independent, and honestly I'm sure that's fine because they have like the reinforcement on the inside, so that's kind of a nice little change. Now, overall breathability of the 13s might have taken a step back with the engineered mesh on the upper. I do feel a little less breath when I breathe into the shoe, like when I tried to do on the other models. This one is the least breathable out of the previous 3. I actually really like the stretching material of the 10 and 11, probably a little bit better than what we get from the 13s, but it is what it is. I feel like the 13s probably are going to be more durable because of that. So it's kind of a give and take, a little bit more durability possibly for the compromise of a little less breathability. But this is all from my own perspective. Obviously, if you have a difference in opinion, please leave a comment in the comment section. Also, feel free to subscribe to the channel while you guys are down there, and flick the little bell thing if you feel like it as well. Something that they kept the same from the previous that I like, they have like it semi-gusseted or whatever, where it's like attached from this point down, so it's easy to slip on. It feels like it's a little bit more locked down because of that, so I can wear my laces looser, but I don't feel like I'm compromising any of the structural integrity of the shoe because it does keep your foot kind of locked in a little bit better. Now, overall sizing, I went true to size with a 9.5. And again, I went with the regular version, not the wide, and I think I got the right choice this time. Transitioning to the midsole, outsole, man, again, I can't say enough good things about this midsole. It's crazy, crazy soft and squishy. Even comparison to the Vongos, that's like the new V6 version, this is so much softer in hand than even the Vongos. So the Vongos feel like it has the traditional, like, same sort of material like the Fresh Foam X, but this feels like the new Fresh Foam X, basically like a soft Fresh Foam X. They should have some sort of label. That's one complaint that I would have. I feel like some of the brands come out with these new super foams that I don't even know. It's a different variation. It's definitely different than the predecessors, but it's called the same exact thing, and I don't necessarily like that. It's confusing when you try this. You expect everything else that's Fresh Foam X to be the same. Same thing with Fuel Cell. Some of the Fuel Cell stuff is much, much softer than the others. And in this case, the Fresh Foam X feels softer, like almost soft as like Fuel Cell even. So that's kind of a crazy compliment to the Fresh Foam X. However, for those people that want Fresh Foam versus Fuel Cell, if you know the difference, like this is going to be softer than what you're used to. So good and bad. I personally love it. I think it's amazing, super soft. Almost like a max cushion sneaker now because of how soft this is, which makes me want to try the more V5s whenever those drop as well. I'll definitely be copping a pair of those because I can't even imagine if they use the same foam on that, it's going to be another max cushion contender because the Morph V4s were already amazing. So I can't even imagine because, again, it's just so much softer. The other thing that I wanted to mention is the midsole is super soft in the heel squish, but they've done a great job in transitioning that to the forefoot as well. Like the heel toe transition as you're walking around in these shoes just casually, it's incredible. The squishy feel from heel to the toe is squishy. If you just kind of stand on your tippy toes, you feel the squish in the forefoot of the shoe as well. Something like the V10s were pretty squishy in the forefoot, but not anything near what you get in the V13s. Like 3-4 years progression, you definitely have like a full length, like crazy sensation underfoot. And overall comfort is super, super good. Now, for those people that don't know the difference between Fuel Cell and Fresh Foam, Fuel Cell is supposed to be soft, springy, but also responsive. So you're supposed to be able to bounce back really, really quickly. Fresh Foam X is supposed to be soft and pillowy and more like absorb shock. So they kind of engineer the different foams for different reasons. And this is going to be one of those shoes that you might not go the fastest in if you're looking for race day marathon running and stuff. You might not go super fast, but this one has the Fresh Foam X, so it's going to be a little bit softer and kind of a little bit more like easier on your knees, let's say, than some of the other stuff out there. But nowadays it's like I always compare TVs, like a 4K TV is a 4K TV is a 4K TV. For the most part, they're all going to be like good resolution. You're going to have some like refresh rates or whatever that are going to be better than others, but at the core, all of them are going to be pretty good. Same thing with like super foam shoes nowadays. Like some of them are going to be better than others, but all in all, they're all going to be better than like an all rubber pair of sneakers, like a pair of Chucks or Vans or something like that. Now the outsole traction, they also changed up quite a bit. You can see the Vongos versus what we have here, and it's almost like a Grim Reaper claw action going across here. I like the look of it. I think it's pretty wild. And then also you do have some extra reinforcements on the heels. So as you can see from the bottoms, a steady progression to what we have now, which is completely revamped from the previous. The 10s and 11s were pretty much identical, and then there was a big change up to the 12s. However, I think that the 12s had thicker rubber, which probably adds extra traction and stuff and more durability to the 12s. But these ones were also the heaviest out of the 4 that we have up here from the last 4 years. So now we kind of have a lighter version, lighter foam, and a little bit less, I guess, traction. But the way they compartmentalized everything, I like the way that they did that. I also just noticed that the Grim Reaper has 6 fingers, which is weird. So also another note, this is a black and white colorway of the New Balance, same as the other 3 that I have out here. However, you notice the New Balance logo is not accented like the others. It's not white, it doesn't have a white background, so it kind of blends in a little bit more, makes it a little more anonymous, which I think is nice for those people that don't want their brands like screaming out at other people. Like this is a nice subtle colorway where you don't see it necessarily from a distance. And for the most part, it's pretty minimal branding. Only a little NB on the tip of the shoe here, as well as the top of the tongue, but pretty minimal nonetheless. Now, one thing I'm not 100% sure on is like, because this is much softer than the previous versions, some people have said like fresh foam bottoms out after a while. Since this is much softer than the others, I'm not sure if it's going to bottom out sooner or later. If you guys have had bad experience or good experience with longevity in your foams from Fresh Foam X, leave a comment in the comment section, let other people know if you've had issues with it bottoming out. I haven't had any issues with it, but you guys see why. I mean, I get new ones like all the time, so I'm not a traditional like everyday person that necessarily wears my shoes all the way to the bone and then gets another pair, because I have quite a few pairs to rotate through. So if you guys have extra insight, always feel free to leave that. But I will say that the overall foam here is crazy soft and squishy. The most soft, squishy Fresh Foam X feeling that I've had on my feet. That's including the More V4s. That's including any of the other Fresh Foams out here. It's just super good in hand and on feet. It feels to me almost like the New Balance 1080 Fuel Cell, not even Fresh Foam X. It's that soft. So that's my take on it though. Leave a comment in the comment section what you guys think about the new 1080 V13s. And if you guys want to see a comparison video between these and some other models from other brands, leave a comment in the comment section. I like to do some of those comparisons here and there. And if you have specific things you'd like to see that's kind of comparable, then of course I definitely want to see those comments, and then hopefully I can make some of that content for you guys. But hope you guys have a good rest of the day though. Thank you again for stopping by and watching. I'm excited for you guys to get these in hand and on feet. Going to be a really easy top contender for most comfortable shoe for 2023 for sure. There's so many good ones from New Balance already, but this is another one where it just steps right up and hits a home run. It's that good. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully you have a good one, and hopefully see you back for some more videos. All right, peace guys.